I used Anki for 30 days for language learning, and I'm very excited to share my experience. And although Anki is not specifically for language learning, us language learners can turn anything into a language learning experience, if you ask me. So, Anki is a digital flashcard platform that I have been using to learn French with the help of Spanish. And more specifically, to learn new French vocabulary and to have a refresher of Spanish vocabulary. And the main reason why I chose Anki for this particular task is because I have a lot of flashcards, physical flashcards right there, that I just did not want to use anymore because it is kind of a lot to keep track of, and I lose them and they get all over my home and it gets kind of annoying. These are the decks that I created over the 30 days. So we have comida, which is food. Then we have partes de cuerpo, and then it says francés. I think that's supposed to be spelled francés. And then I have frases básicas, which is basic phrases, yes. And then we have las emociones y sentimientos, las preposiciones y les prepositions, I think. My French pronunciation isn't the best, but we also have le temps or el clima and then los verbos. So let's look at one of these. Actually, no, first, one of the main things that confused me about Anki was actually this main page here. So this column right here is new, but then this one I was kind of confused exactly what this was because this right here says do. So let's just look at kind of the mechanics of one of these decks here when we actually go through them. All right, so once I clicked on comida, this is what we have right here. We have this, again, 1 new, 14 is learning, 3 is to review. I still don't really understand the difference between these two. Okay, la pera, I don't know what this one, actually no, this one is les pères in français, I think. So if I click on this one, show answer, then it shows me what the French version of this Spanish word is. So la pera is Spanish, and la poire is the French version of this word. This is how I tried to structure all of my Anki decks here. So by having the Spanish word first, and then, or on the front side of the deck technically, then on the back side of the card, or the card actually, would be the French word. And then at the bottom here, this is what really shows the spaced repetition feature. So I can change how often I am viewing this particular word or reviewing this particular word. After using Anki for 30 days, I realized that I probably should have read the manual of this platform because although it is quite simple, right? You're just reviewing flashcards. The spaced repetition for me is kind of difficult to understand, and I don't even really know how to change the settings yet for the spaced repetition. So I would recommend looking up some of the instructions. This one is hard for me. This one is again less than a month. Okay, let's do this one. El jamón, le jambon. I don't think for a lot of these flashcards I need 4 different ones. I think I would just need 3 of them really. Hard, good, and easy maybe, because I rarely even choose this one. And again, if I choose one of these specifically for a card, I'm not sure how frequently it actually shows me that card. So I'm still very lost when it comes to that. But anyway, I have no idea how this happened where this is all the way at the left. El pavo y la dinde is right in the middle here. But I copied and pasted a lot of these words into Anki, so that's probably a reason why some of the formatting is not right in the center. Adding a new card is fairly easy. You just click on this add button here, and then I just choose which deck I want the card to go to out of all these ones. And then here's the front and the back here. So one issue that I encountered was, for some reason, I would put, again, the Spanish word here, then the French word here, but then the French word would appear first. So I had to play around with the settings a little bit to make sure that the front was always showing first and not the back. Then if we click this browse button here, we are able to see all the cards that are in each of the decks. So this one again is for comida. Let's go to las emociones y sentimientos, and here are the cards that I have under this particular deck. And I definitely need to review many of these because there are still a lot that I don't remember. Another thing that I noticed during these 30 days is that I probably should not be reviewing my Anki decks when it is late at night, because late at night I am very tired. It's usually a very long day and my focus is just not there. So it's very difficult for me, number one, to pay attention, and then number two, to actually remember what I just reviewed if I'm very tired. For that reason, I wasn't able to use Anki for 30 consecutive days, because there were some days where I did not use Anki because I would wait way too long, and then nighttime would come, and then I would try to sit down and open up the app or open up the platform, and I'm just like, no, this is not happening. I'm way too tired. So that is a good thing to keep in mind if you are using Anki to review vocabulary for your target language or languages. By the way, just so you know, besides Anki, there are other resources that are very effective and fun to learn Spanish with, like TV shows, podcasts, and songs. And they will improve your language skills a lot. Check out my new Spanish resource kit that has over 60 of these types of resources for learning Spanish. Now, what exactly do I like about Anki? One thing I really like about Anki is that it helps me to be a lot more organized. So kind of what I was mentioning beforehand, how now I don't have to have physical flashcards, but I can have all these flashcards in these different decks just like this, and have them all nice and categorized, because for me, that's how my brain learns vocabulary a little bit easier, instead of having, for example, all these topics together in just one pile, right? Or in one deck. As well, I like all the stats that Anki provides as well. So I was very impressed by this. This particular graph here, it says total 17 reviews, average 1 review a day. This one is reviews, the number of questions you have answered. And let's see here, days studied, 15 of 31, total 91 reviews, average for days studied, 6 reviews, average over period, 3 reviews a day. So there is a ton of data that actually puts into these nice little reports here that I haven't really used, honestly, but I'm sure that they can be very useful for me if I actually, looked at them and tried to see how I can improve my learning experience with Anki. I mean, besides that feature, there are many other features that I have not used and I don't even know anything about yet. So I have some studying to do. Also, I think Anki is really good for us language learners to use, especially if we are trying to develop our vocabulary, because that is one primary goal that many of us language learners are trying to achieve, because there is just a large amount of basic vocabulary that we have to learn. But I also think it really depends on your learning style. So for me, in this part of my language learning journey, using flashcards can get kind of boring, at least these types of flashcards, where it's just, one word in the front and then one word on the back. I kind of prefer to use, Memrise or Duolingo to really get vocabulary ingrained into my mind. However, using Anki can be a faster way of getting exposure to this vocabulary. And one thing that I will not use Anki for is trying to learn phrases. So right now I'm just, trying to learn verbs, nouns, adjectives, and things like that. But phrases, for whatever reason, is really boring to me and is really difficult to remember, no matter how many times that I see it. So I know in this case, when it comes to phrases, I'm going to have to learn phrases in a different way, which isn't a problem. I'm happy that I know this about myself. So I'm not forcing myself to learn French phrases with a very ineffective method. If you are planning to use Anki to learn some vocabulary in your target language, please look up some tutorials online on YouTube, or look at some articles online so you can really understand how this platform works, because I'm still very lost even after 30 days. And I know I could be using this platform more effectively if I knew how to actually use it and know what all the features mean. And yeah, that's all on me. If you have been using Anki, let me know in the comment section below, what do you like about Anki and what you don't like about Anki. Now watch this next video of another 30-day review of mine of a language learning application.